Hi, my name's Dan. Welcome to my channel, I guess, as everybody else says. I may as well welcome you. Welcome. All right. My channel, it's for people who hear voices. I hear voices. I hear voices all the time, most of the day, in fact. But I don't think it's schizophrenia. Actually, I know it's not schizophrenia. I don't have any of the other symptoms. But, doctors will say. Anyway, whatever. So I'm looking for people like yourself. I don't know if I'm just doing a test run here. Test. I can do my clapboard. Do you have a clap? I have a clapboard. All right. So the name of my channel is Coffee with Dan. Coffee with Dan. And then we always have a gospel message. So I'm a Christian. So I have a gospel message. I'm not a very good Christian, but I am a believing Christian person who tries to meet others. All right. Here's the coffee part. All right. So I have coffee. I should have the ashtray. The ashtray table would be good. Or another table. Okay. So is a test run. Check noise. I just put my new panel. It's good enough, I guess. It seems to be pretty common these days. Horizontal boards, since I had some. Okay, so the purpose of my video. The purpose. One must have a purpose. It's to find those people who hear voices, who are isolated. They may be diagnosed with schizophrenia or not. I have no idea. I know I'm not. I hear voices all the time. And I know that the only thing that seems to work for me is adherence to a Christian lifestyle. Or to be inside of Christ. If you're a believer, you would understand in those words. So it's not, my channel's not for people who do not hear voices. It's for people only entirely for those who hear voices. So because I haven't seen one. I haven't seen one anywhere on YouTube. I've seen guys go on and ramble. I've seen some guys try to make the videos. I've seen people make them about people who have schizophrenia, but they themselves have no experience in hearing voices or whatever. But I have, and I'd like to relay it to you, and I hear them daily. And there's more than that. And if you hear these voices, you're also going to have seen some of these people, which are pretty nasty. You're going to see them, they're around you. And as I go through the Bible passages, maybe as the next few weeks or months progress, and hopefully you come back, I hope you do, and I hope I find you, because I would like to talk with you, because I'm living in a very small town, and we don't have the venues that you might have in the city. So when we're isolated, we're very isolated, and we have to cope with these people around here, very small town people. I'm sure you can catch on, catch the idea of what they might be like. It's a mixed bag. Coffee with Dan, right? Coffee. Right. And I'm Dan. All right, good. It's too hot. Okay, so I'm rambling, and we're not going to do this in the real videos. Okay, so this is for people, and I'm a little nervous because I've never done this before. I have a serious look on my face. All right, the first time I see this. Okay, those who hear voices but do not consider themselves schizo or shih tzus. Shih tzus, yeah, shih tzu are you? Maybe you might not be schizo either. Okay, so in my town we have no support groups. And if we did, I sure shit would not go to one. Because it would take like 2 months before all of your personal info just leaks out into the public in general. It doesn't go well. The end is worse than the first. You want to stay there. Maybe I'd go to a neighboring city or something, I mean Sudbury or whatever, and I might go to one there. Wait, but certainly not here. So I'm looking for Christian Bible readers, but you don't necessarily have to be one. But you have to know this voice. You hear this guy, Jerry Marzinski? He's on YouTube a lot. He talks about these people. Well, that is exactly what I'm talking about. But my approach would be a little different. Mine's in Christian, Jesus, Holy Spirit, Trinitarian Christian. Okay. Bible message. I'm going to throw in a Bible message probably every video. Something that I think is relevant or important, or maybe if you're a Bible reader, it's food for thought. Maybe you're having coffee too. I don't know. Let's see. So far, as I've been talking, the voices haven't bothered me, but they bother me all the time, all day, all night. Just blah 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 blah. You know what they're. You know what they're like. You're a real pain in the butt. They take shifts and all kinds of them. And all too often, I'm going to respond to them in very vicious manners. I'm going to respond to them nasty. I'm going to say bad words at them. I'm going to say all kinds of things. But I should be responding from inside Jesus Christ, his words. Remember Michael? He's fighting with Satan over Moses' body. And it says he durst not accuse Satan or bring a railing accusation against Satan. He was so respectful in his conduct. I can't do that. I'm just terrible at it. Not good. And I also see them out and about, and that's who I want to meet. You guys are out there, because I see the people who come on YouTube and they say, well, my family helped me. And well, they do, but the people I'm looking for are going to understand their families are not quite, not quite what they once were, or what you thought they once were. And I've come to learn quite a bit about these guys, these people, well, they're devils, damn it. They're devils. Okay. Right. My Bible message for this one, this particular video, would be from Proverbs. The sluggard says to himself or in his heart that there's a lion in the street, I'll be slain. I'll be slain in the street. I'll be killed. If I go out and take on this risk, I'll be murdered and killed. These guys will kill me. Or whatever's in the way will kill me. I don't know if that's... but it does call him a sluggard, so try not to take that route. And also, I link this up with other verses too. If you have faith as a mustard seed, you'll say to this mountain, be removed, and it will be done for you. So the lions, it might be removed. You're going to have to get closer. And also another one that I could link up to this one is Paul. If you read the book of Acts, I think it was around that, there were these circus girls, and they were following Paul, saying, Paul this and Paul that, you're going to get to find a way to salvation and so on. They're bugging him and bugging him, they're repeating themselves. And then later on, a little while after, I'll quote the exact places, and he says, a messenger of Satan to buffet me, and he prayed 3 times to have it removed and so on. And the reply was, my grace is sufficient. So is it contradictory to having the mountain removed? Not entirely. Not entirely, because in my interpretation, it's get closer to God. Our God is asking you to come closer to me, and we'll make this mountain or this lion or this buffeter to seem smaller than he is today. So get closer to me, and this thing, person, or activity that surrounds you that's impeding you will seem smaller and smaller as you become closer and closer to me. So that sort of, it makes me think of that. All right. Voices interfere a lot, unless there's a lot of attention on them. I'll go in great detail with these guys. These are very, very tenacious types. I'm going to go into very, very small detail with them, as they do with me. Let me get a single. Yeah, they'll use single words like strobe to change train of thought and block train of thought. Sleep. They attack. The worst thing is to attack sleep or relaxation in general. They really will drain you if you're not if you're not a saved person, you haven't experienced salvation, a born-again Christian, or simply otherwise a Catholic as well. Because I'm very much against our separation as Christians. I hate the separations. It tears me up that we should be separate. There's so much we can get from one another, so much we can... Yeah, there's a lot of liars, a lot of hypocrites, there's a lot of people in there that are just not really into the Christianity, but they like going there for some reason. But there's a lot of us that do want to meet Jesus, and they are they're scattered throughout. We should find one another, in my opinion, at least. Okay, not mind readers. I don't want anybody, mind readers, shutting me down in my conversation, or changing the topic really fast, or come on, I got these people. I don't want anything. I've seen it. I've gone over it 34 years, daily for 34 years. Look at me, I'm old now. See, I was young when we started. I was a young guy. I had hair on my head, big hair actually, and now I have very little. So, yeah, I'm going to go into detail. I know these people, and it's not just the local scene. It's pretty much everywhere. Ah, they're here. They're here. Or Carol Ann, they're here. Well, they are here. All right. All thoughts. Yeah, they're big on mockery. So in case you've ever met any of them, they're gigantic on mockery. Yeah, just like John said, there would be mockers in the end times. Well, this is a whole new class of mocker. If you've ever seen them, and this is why I'm going directly to you guys, and not the doctors, and not the family members. You who hear the voices, you have understanding, you have experience, you are isolated, and the only reason you're down is because we can't find one another. We don't know where each other are, and we're separated. And there's not one single reason why we should fail at anything that we do, including earning a living. Not one reason. But we're isolated and we're separated from each other, and therefore our support systems are not in place. We have fake support systems. Take your meds. Would you taken your meds yet? Okay, whatever. Just really. If you had normal support systems, we'd be A1. We'd be together and normal friends. I'm not faggot. I'm not gay. Okay, so just so you understand that part, I am not a gay person. I'm a heterosexual person, if I have to come down to this. But I don't have sex. I don't have sex with anyone. But I am heterosexual inside, like in the mind and so on. That's another thing they'll do in a small town. You don't have a girlfriend or had one? Well, you must be a big fag, right? No, not. But I don't want to call them F word, because some of them are pretty nice people. Okay, some of them are very respectful and they're very nice people. You have your bastards as well in that area, but some of them are pretty nice. Very gentle people, very respectful, and very creative. They're talented people. So I don't want to call them that F word anymore. I get angry sometimes. I say a bad word. Okay. Let me see now. I gotta make a thumbnail, and I have no idea how to do that. The purpose, we went over that. Explain why not locals. Yeah, locals, no. No, definitely not. They're too much so intertwined with each other. Okay, so they're going to have influence on each other. Oh, I got old. See how old now? I'm so old. I'm old. I'm going to sing. I should sing. On Golden Pine. You see on Golden Pine? All right. Exchange stories. I want to, that's another reason. I want to meet people to exchange stories. I want to hear your stories. Yeah, on video as well, if we could. Even chatting, if we can chat like a whole group of us, that would be nice. I would like that. As long as there's no real demoniacs. Oh, and the Exorcist guys. You must watch these Exorcist guys. He's Catholic. I like to take the humble route. I don't want to think like I know more than you, because these guys are like they gone to universities and they've studied all kinds of stuff, and so I have no idea. But I know that I know Jesus. I know I love this God, and I know Him, and I believe He knows me as well, and He lights my heart up when I get near Him. So I know that I know Him, and I know I'm gleaning something, perhaps not this high level of education that some of these people have, but I am getting somewhere with Him, and I do understand things, and there is communication. It takes place over a long period of time. It takes lots of time, because God speaks once, twice, yet man perceiveth it not. It takes a long time to get through to me as same way. And 34, 35 years into this, it's 36 years into it, it's a fair amount of time relative to our lifespan. Okay, so gospel, people that aren't too busy, right? Resist Satan, flee. Resist the devil and he'll flee from you. Yeah, but he comes right back. He does flee. He shuts his mouth, stops, and waits, and observes more, and then regroups and whatever. Okay, so conveyance of emotion, distract. So how do these voices attack? Well, now that's interesting. I haven't heard anybody said that I see devils as well. So I hear the voices, they attack, but I don't see them. Okay. I don't see how you could not see them. Okay, because they're all around me, and they make themselves very well known, very clearly, and very, very blunt and very well known. So they make themselves understood very clearly. And there's no way you can say, "Hey, you're a devil," because all right, well, okay, Dan, you just take your pills and meds. All right, you can't come out and say that. You got to soak it up. Your Christianity comes into play. Become gentle. Rely on your God. Be polite. Be quiet. Be cooperative. Don't be condescending. And don't stare back at them, because then a doctor will say, "Well, he's just telling us what we want to know." Don't do that. You got to trick them, right? You can't do that. You got to have a sense of humor too. Right? Those of you who say we shouldn't have a sense of humor, well, just have a sense of humor. It's funny. There's things that can be funny sometimes. Coffee's bitter now. I put these planks up. Huh. They're everywhere, and I'm alone. So you semi-mind readers out there, and that's not possible. You would run away or you would die. No, I wouldn't. No, and you can't hear very well. They can. Oh yeah, I was getting back to these exorcists, Catholic ones. They seem to have seen what I have seen plus more, but there's a lot that they're not saying. They say, well, the devil cannot hear your thought. Well, while it is true that some demons certainly cannot hear what you're thinking, I've seen that. They don't hear anything. Or they hear on a network, or it has to be relayed to them by other demons, something like that. But there are demons that hear every single detail of your thought, your emotion. They know if you're sick. They know if you have a bad tooth. They know if your toe is sore. They know if you need more sleep. They know about your water levels. They know everything about you and your mind. Every single freaking detail. So I don't know how these Catholic guys go into this for 50 some odd years exorcising devils and don't know that yet. And if you hear voices, you know that there are devils that hear every detail about us. They know us intimately. So they're not mere observers sitting across the room watching your behavior and where your eyes are shifting. It's far deeper than that. Which is why it's bad that we are separate from one another. Because the body of Christ is a entire body. It's not a separate body. Oh, the hand's over here, the head is over there, and the leg is over here. No. It's one body. And it's very arrogant and conceited to say, well, no, you guys are no good. Oh, I'm better. I'm saved, but you're not. What is that? Anyway, who can actually come up with that? And it's not believable. It's of the devil. Sliver in the eye and the mote and that. Right. Get over it. We can make mistakes. There are some mistakes that are far more acceptable to God than other mistakes. You can say hello to Mary and thank you, Mary, and I think you're great and I think you're fantastic and you're fantastic to Mary. I would love to know you better. And then there would not be a terrible mistake. But in the Protestant world, oh, don't do that. Okay, whatever. See, I don't understand those things. There are worse mistakes to make. Adultery, for one example. If you have used sex with somebody else's wife, that's worse, I would think. Right. There's a few other things that just, I don't know, a bunch of stuff. We shouldn't be separate. I have a short-term memory. Okay, I just saw something irrelevant and I forgot right away. All your thoughts are mocked, but it is mockers. I've turned around and have them imitating things behind me, in front of everyone. Like in the rearview mirror, I've seen them making all kinds of, and this is a small town. This is in front of other people, like lots of people. And these are older people who have homes and they've raised children. This is way outside of their character, far outside of their personal character, and in front of everyone. It's really something to behold, these little towns full of devils. And of course, if you say anything, you're delusional and you have a problem and you have certain issues. And so they got to soak it up and we got to look for one another. That's why we need to find each other. We need to find each other. Good. We don't need to find other bad mind readers. We don't want to find mind readers. I'm going to be very polite with you guys. I want to keep the respect levels high and the politeness, if we could. So, yeah. So how many minutes? That's 20 minutes already? I don't want to go far beyond this 20 minutes. Groups, Christian Bible readers. So I'm hoping you're a Christian Bible reader, but if you're not, like, I like this Jerry Marzinski person. He's got credibility behind him. He's got a degree of some kind. He gets interviewed a lot. A lot of people interview him. But he's not Christian. Spiritual, perhaps, but not Christian. Okay. The priests, some of them here, those devils, some of them, they're right in tune to you. They're right in tune. And the others, that I think, they just put up a smokescreen to these priests somehow. I don't doubt that they exorcise demons, but we're neglecting the bigger picture that there's... Remember Malachi Martin? You ever hear of him, guy? Malachi Martin. He wrote a couple of books. He was a Jesuit. And he was an exorcist. And he mentioned that he had seen some people that he called the perfectly possessed. And they would see him on the street and they would respond to him. Okay? They weren't demoniacs foaming at the mouth, swearing, Tourette syndrome, crazy ass, whatever. They just saw him and he knew that they knew him. They knew him and they loathed him. They hated him. That's what I'm talking about. A lot of them. And some of them are going to be in your family. And no one's going to believe you. It's going to medicate you. Medicate you more. Medicate you more. You're not going to believe. You need... Take a deep breath. They're going to try and provoke you. Calm down. Eat something. Get some sleep. Start working out. Start doing what they... normal things. Exercising. And go to the gym. Things like that. You got to chill out because they will put you in the Bellevue psych ward and shit like that. It's not nice. Or you'll end up worse out in the street. Out in the street on and off. And then... I could just imagine those shelters, what they're like, what's full of demoniacs in there. Sniffing your pack sack and taking your shoes and whatever. Wouldn't want to go there. Wouldn't want to go there. Nope, nope, nope. Not unless there's a purpose. There has to be a purpose. All right. I've been very fortunate. I am not kidding you. Extremely fortunate. I live among devils, and the only harm that ever took place to me is what I did to myself. What they were able to do to my mind, and then I would harm myself. So I did some self-harm, which was a long time ago, like 34 years ago now. 34 years this year. And that was the only time, just that one time. But they could still use that against me. They could still, if I come up with some extraordinary stories or accusations, they would just say, well, you know, this guy... whatever. They could do that. So I kept quiet. I kept quiet, and what was I just going to say? I just saw a caption here. That's why it threw me off. Okay, I use 29%, 29 gigs of my data, right? I kept quiet, and they kept coming. You see, if you don't respond to them, they're going to come at you more and more and more. They're going to pile it up. They're going to keep coming at you year after year after year. And you learn more about them. You learn more about them. You learn more about them. They show more of their constituents, we'll say. and they just do more activities in front of you. They move in next to you, they move in above you if you're in an apartment, they move in below you if you're in an apartment, they go to work at the same place where you work, and they antagonize the crap out of you, and your patience level just goes higher and higher, higher, higher. You just keep growing and growing in patience until, well, they can't do anymore without them having themselves incarcerated. They would drag them out. If they did any more in front of me, they would drag these guys away. So they can't go really beyond certain levels when people are here. Right. So let's try that. That's 25 minutes. I'm going to shut her down, and I think the light is good, the board's good. I mean, I've covered everything. I have another video planned out. So let's try that.